Hey, my sweetheart. So it's a little cloudy, a little thundery, and a little lightning-y. But it is the quietest place. So we have not done this in a long time. There's the thunder. Fascinating Womanhood by Helen Andeline, or Andeline, however you say it. There is I think a little more updated edition done by her daughter, Dixie, and she's still alive and kicking, so God bless her. Anyway, there is so much in this book, and we were going chapter by chapter, but all those videos are deleted. So I just thought this is really nice kind of place to start. And, you know, even before you're able to reach your fitness goals or, you know, dramatically change, say, your physical mannerisms and things like that you have to work on, your attitude and your demeanor, you can change right away. So I'll try to take a picture and post it, but she has a drawing of a woman, and half of her is the angelic qualities that men love, and the other half of her is the human qualities that men love. So this is like a little summary, and basically it says, analyzing Durchette is from a book, David, goodness gracious. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about the details at this moment, but she's got stories of real people and also stories from literature. So anyway, her character, number one, her character, sweetness and goodness reigned throughout her person. She had a character which was mindful of the needs of others. She cast light upon dark days and had a smile which had the power to lighten that enormous chain. Further evidence of her character is in her lover's statement that she is holy innocence, is like a prayer and the living form of benediction. Wow. Number two, domestic. She was capable in her domestic duties, for her occupation is only to live her daily life, and her presence lights the home. Wow. Number three, inner happiness. This is really important. Similar in Agnes, Durchette possessed inner happiness, or she couldn't possibly have had such ability to radiate it to others. And that's so true. That's why we're supposed to be full of happiness and contentment within first, and then we can shine that light onto others. Her human qualities. Number one, childlikeness. And that doesn't mean temper tantrums and acting like a spoiled brat. She means it in a different way. Like Dora, Durchette had childlike ways. She who is one day to be a mother remains for a long while a child. She had a childlike prattle and certain mischief in her eyes, and at times the giddiness and vivacity and the teasing playfulness of a child. So it's like just the right balance of, you know, Mr. Samuels used to say, exuberant and excited like a child or a puppy. So just finding the joy in everything in life, the simple things, and just, oh, wow, that's amazing. And, you know, just finding that almost like, you know, the Bible says that you got to have childlike faith to enter into the kingdom of God. And that's because children really believe. So you have to believe like a child. And so the same type of concept. So little mischief, again, little playfulness, but not where you're causing so much trouble because you're so immature, okay? So it's balance. You got to have balance. Number two, changefulness. Durchette was not at all times the same. Sometimes she was radiantly happy and full of giddiness and vivacity, I don't know. At other times, she had an air of bewitching languor. Although she was sweet and good, at times she had a certain mischief in the eye. Sometimes she was full of teasing playfulness, and other times a dash of melancholy. But changefulness, as you will learn in later chapters, is also a childlike quality. Okay, so, ouch. I can hear Bella wants to come out. Number three, fresh appearance. She is fresh and joyous as the lark. Okay, fresh and joyous as the lark. Number 4, gentle. Her gentle qualities are described in her voice. She makes all kinds of gentle noises, murmurings of unspeakable delight. Number 5, radiates happiness. The most notable quality she had was her ability to radiate happiness. She was this was part of her character, manner, and actions. So she was fresh and joyous as a lark. She shed joy around, cast light upon dark days. Her presence lights the home. Her approach is like cheerful warmth. She passes by and we are content. She stays a while and we are happy. She has a smile which had the power to lighten the weight of the enormous chain which all the living in common dragged behind them. A dangerous smile, which was Duchette herself. At times, she had giddiness and vivacity. And number 6, grace. Not mentioned before, but similar to gentleness and tenderness is that of grace. Duchette was the very spirit of grace and harmony, and had graceful response of the West Indian woman. Her neck was supple and graceful. Come here. No. Another example in literature of a girl who was both angelic and human is Amelia, from the novel Vanity Fair by Thackeray. Thackeray says that Amelia is a kind, fresh, smiling, artless, tender little domestic goddess whom men are inclined to worship. A few pages further, he calls her poor little tender heart. In another place, he attributes to her such a kindly, smiling, tender, generous heart of her own. He admits that others might not consider her beautiful. Indeed, I am afraid that her nose was rather short than otherwise, and her cheeks a great deal too round for her, a heroine, but her face blushed with rosy health, and her lips were the freshest of smiles, and she had a pair of eyes which sparkled with the brightest honestness of good humor, except indeed when they were filled with tears, and that was a great deal too often, for the silly thing would cry over a dead canary or over a mouse that the cat happily had seized upon, or over the end of a novel, were it ever so stupid. This is women. Amelia had a sweet, fresh little voice. She was subject to little cares, fears, tears amid misgivings. She trembled when anyone was harsh. Altogether she was too modest, too tender, too trustful, too weak, too much woman for any man to know without feeling called upon to protect and cherish. What does that tell you, ladies? You have to be a tender, vulnerable, meek woman for men to have that natural instinct to want to protect you. Amelia had several qualities worthy of our attention. Her angelic qualities: number 1, her character. She had a generous heart and was kindly, and since men are inclined to worship her, she evidently had a worthy character. Number 2, her domestic qualities. Thackeray calls her a little domestic goddess. Her human qualities: her freshness. Number 1, she had the freshest of smiles, and her face blushed with rosy health. She had a pair of eyes that sparkled, so her life was, she was alive inside. She had a sweet, fresh little voice. So she spoke with a beautiful tone. She didn't speak harshly. She didn't try to speak masculine or in a harsh way. Number 2, she had childlike emotions. Her eyes would often fill with tears. I cry over commercials, that's why it makes me laugh. She would cry over a dead canary or a mouse or a novel. She's subject to little cares and tears, fears, timid misgivings. She trembles when anyone is harsh. Number 3, tenderness. She was a tender little domestic goddess. She was too weak, too tender, too much woman. And number 4, trustfulness. She was too trustful. And men, you know, when you hear about the angelic, here's the picture actually. When you hear her talking about the angelic, and you think, well, you know, a woman's not an angel, but men have always admired and want their woman to present herself and behave in a way that is like an angel, that is good, that represents the good, and not given into the dark side, the temptation, the evil, the harshness, the bad bees that we have today. Women used to pride themselves on being good, trying to be virtuous, doing good for others. Like the Proverbs 31 woman, she's feeding and clothing the needy with the extra that she has. She makes provisions for her workers and all these different types of things. Always taking care of others and giving back to the community is really important. But literally, like, put a little angel halo over her head and believing that her behavior is above reproach, that she has presented herself in such a way with such a track record and reputation that she is wholly trustworthy, wholly in her behavior, appearance, her way, her spirit, and that really attracts a good man. A good man is attracted to that kind of a woman, which I know today most men have completely given up on, but maybe somewhere in a third world country, she's still there. So that's why we need a revival. We raise our daughters to be those type of holy women again, So I guess I'll stop for now with that reading and just let you think about it a little bit. And I would say, one of the things that I did when I first read the book, and I've read the book so many times over again, I looked at myself and I said, okay, what are my mannerisms like? How do I speak? How do I talk to my husband? How do I talk to others? How do I care for others? How do I present myself? And really just tried to say, okay, this is the things that I could work on. What are these things do I have naturally? What are my weaknesses in these areas? And then just try to work on it, You have to be careful. You can't just all of a sudden, you're a stern woman all the time and all of a sudden you act like a child and your husband's going to go, what the heck's going on? So, work on the different things, playfulness, excitement about anything. You get some good news, he wants to tell you about his day, something great happened. Be exuberant about it. Anything that he gives you, even he did well on his paycheck, congratulate him, tell the kids, look how good your father's done. Anything that you can celebrate that he's done is fantastic. Anything you can thank him for is it. Men really appreciate appreciation and respect. So, and then I was talking to Miss Shelley today, which I got such a beautiful letter from her. I'm so grateful. I'm just like in the little season right now of just receiving back some wonderful blessings and love from people in my life, and I'm just going to accept it and say thank you and encourage, let that encourage me to keep on going. So we were talking about setting something up where, like, ideally I get this book done, I get the little curriculum, a little charm etiquette curriculum set up, whatever, and have a tea party. And whether we meet somewhere, Orlando's a pretty popular place. Like, I was thinking that the men of the husbands, the husbands that come, can go machine shooting with my husband and, our boys or something like that, so the men can do something manly. And we could get together and actually, I can give you guys a big hug. And I would probably think sometime next year I should be able to get the book done, get all this done, and have enough time to be able to organize something like that, because I know people need to be able to take time off and make arrangements. And I wish I could just open up my house and everyone just come stay here. I don't think my husband would approve of that. But I believe that we could meet somewhere and have a really wonderful time, and that would be so cool. And it's almost like it's meant to be, because I popped on to one of my other YouTube friends, that dude named Dave. He's great. He covers a lot of boxing and live, and sporting events and stuff. And of course, I'm met him on YouTube through, you know, Kevin Samuels and him doing response videos and things like that. Anywho, and he was mentioning about getting together with his people in Las Vegas next year for a fight. And I guess they did it once before. And I thought, yeah, see, this is a thing in the universe right now. All right. But a great idea. So how fun. We'll have a lovely tea party and have a, you know, go over the book and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, maybe do a couple of classes, but have it fun and just socialize, because otherwise it's all through the screen and I can't hug you guys and you know, actually meet. So that would be so fun. I have to ask my husband, but we would have like a year to plan, and it's great. I think it would be a really wonderful goal. So, you know, thank you again, Shelly, for all your love. Wow, what a story she's got. It's incredible. So anyway, and what else was I going to tell you guys? Don't remember off the top of my head, but everything else is going well. So, you know, get your own copy of the book, the Fascinating Womanhood book. Like I said, that is your second Bible, and so helpful. And again, it's kind of written old. Even the daughter tried to kind of update the language a little bit, but it doesn't matter. You can understand it. And it's not like, you know, the Taming the Shrew or something where you're reading Shakespearean or something like that. But, you know, the concepts of, and the testimonies in there of transforming yourself. A lot of women think, oh, well, this is the best I can be. And then you find out, oh, wait a minute, I was doing the complete opposite of what actually would positively affect my husband. Most women try to change their husband with their mouth through nagging and this and that. And that's the worst thing you could possibly do. It just makes everything worse. And the Bible even says to win your husband by your behavior, not through conversation. So he's watching what you do and how you behave. He's not listening to what you say. So anyway, so much love, you guys. Been 2 4 a.m.s in a row. I am tired, but it's all good. And I just wanted to at least get started on the book with you guys, this one, and try to get back into that. And I'm going to find a chapter on the etiquette part, like the feminine arts part of the walking and your voice. And, you know, I know they actually, people out there actually pay people to help them train their voice to speak in a certain way, or to walk and things like that. And I would like all that to be part of our little charm school / etiquette, you know, curriculum that goes along with the book. Then the other thing that I want to do with the book also is everyone get a blank book from wherever. At this point you can do Amazon, but I went to like Michael's and got a big beautiful blank book with really sturdy pages in it, and then I decorated it, and it's the family recipes that I will pass down to my daughter, you know, when she gets married. So slowly I've been filling it and writing in recipes that I've created from both sides of our family. You know, of course, got the Indian and Italian and Scottish and Irish and, you know, all kinds of fantastic food that can go in there, tips and gardening tips and all different kinds of things, you know, that are important, and you can do your own. And that should be part of the school kit, because to be a wife, you should know how to cook and cook well and cook healthy, and you want to prepare. So whether you're preparing to be a wife, you're already a wife, or you know, you want to give it to your daughter someday or something like that, it will be good. I want to cover all the bases. So, all right, wish me luck, guys. I love you so much, and have a great day. And just thank you. You guys are wonderful and amazing. And I'm a very blessed woman. Yes, and I won't forget it. So, thank you. Ciao.